Hello students, welcome to the class of science. Today we are going to start chapter 14 water. Some topics we are going to cover in this chapter, that is water and forms of water. Uses of water, sources of water, water cycle, rainwater harvesting and scarcity of water. What is water? Water is a natural resource. It is important for both plants and animals. It is made up of tiny molecules of oxygen and hydrogen. Earth's surface is covered with water is about 3/4 in ratio. That's why Earth is known as water planet. Forms of water. Water exists in three forms, that is solid, liquid and gas. Solid means ice form. Okay. Ice which is present at the poles of the earth, the glacier and the snow covered mountains is the solid form of water. Liquid form of water present in river, lakes, seas and oceans. Okay. And gas means water vapors is present all around us. Okay. So water is essential for life. All living things like plants and animals need water to live. We need water for drinking, cooking food, washing utensils, cleaning floor, brushing teeth, bathing, washing clothes, flushing toilets and watering plants. So let us learn more about the water from chapter. Students, as we know that water is essential for the survival and existence of all living organisms including humans. We all uses water for various activities like for drinking, brushing, bathing, washing utensils, washing clothes, toilets, cleaning floor or other activities. But question is here, how much water we use in a day? Okay, students, in table 14.1 you have to make an estimate of how much water is needed by you and your family for the various activities. Okay, like the same way you can estimate how much water is needed by your area, your city. Okay, now let us know the other uses of water. Water is used for irrigation purpose. Okay, and it is also used in industries for producing many things. Okay students, so we need water not only for our daily activities but it also used for producing many things. Now let us move to the next topic, sources of water, or where do we get water from? The sources of water are river, ponds, lakes and wells. Okay students, and water present in river, lakes, ponds, streams comes from the rainwater or from melting by the snow on mountain. So the water that we get from the taps is drawn from the river or lakes or a well, then it is supplied through a network of pipes. Okay, so ponds, lakes, river and wells are the sources of water. Now let us move to the next topic. Students, we know that about 2/3 of the earth is covered with water, but most of the water is present in ocean and seas. So the water which is present in ocean and sea is the salty water, and this salty water is not fit for drinking and other domestic, agriculture and industrial needs. Okay students, but the water which is present in the ponds, lakes, river, wells, that is free from the salt. Some important questions are here. How does the ocean water reaches ponds, lakes, river and wells which supply us water? How come the water from these sources is not saline anymore? To know the answer of this question, let us move to the next topic, that is water cycle. Okay. Students, water cycle maintains the water balance on land, water bodies and atmosphere. So students, we should know about the water cycle in detail. Before, let us know about the evaporation process. What is evaporation process? Students, the process of conversion of liquid into gaseous state is called evaporation. And evaporation is a slow conversion of liquid into its vapor states. Evaporation takes place at all temperature. Let us understand it more from some examples. When you spread wet cloth in the sunlight or inside the room, then it dry up. Okay. Similarly, you will observe that water from the wet roads, rooftops and few other places also disappears after the rain. Okay. And when you hit the salty water, then you will observe that water converts into water vapors and salt left. Okay, students. So, in all these activities, we understood that on heating, water changes into its vapor form. Okay. So, students, these water vapors do not carry other salt particle with it. Okay, and these water vapors is present in the air or in the atmosphere. So we found that on heating, water converts into its vapor form. Okay. Now let us move to the next activity. We are going to understand that evaporation is faster in sunlight. Okay. You have to take two similar plates and place one of them in the sunlight and keep other plate in the shade. Okay. And you have to put equal amount of water in both the plates and keep it for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you will observe that the water plate which is kept under the sunlight evaporates faster than the water plate which is kept in the shade. Means this activity proves that evaporation is faster under the sunlight. Okay. Similarly, during the daytime, sunlight falls on the water bodies like ocean, river, lakes and ponds, and other areas like field and other land areas also receive sunlight. As a result, water from these places changes into vapor form and salt left behind. Okay. So, evaporation is a slow conversion of water into water vapors, and evaporation takes place at all temperature. Okay, students. Now, let us move to the next topic, loss of water by plants. Students, plants also release water to the atmosphere by the process of transpiration. Okay, you know that plants uses water for food preparation, means for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, means some part of the water is used for the food preparation and some part of the water retain in their different parts, and remaining water is released by the plants into the air in the form of water vapors, and this process is known as transpiration process. Okay, so water vapors enter the air through the process of evaporation and transpiration. Okay, now let us move to the next topic, how are clouds formed. Let us understand it with the help of activity 3. Students, in this activity, take a glass of water and put few ice cubes in the glass tumbler. After some time, you will observe that there is a water droplets on the outer surface of the glass. From where does this water droplets comes on the outer surface of the glass? Let us know answer of this question. You know that water vapors is present in the atmosphere, and when these water vapors comes in the contact with the cold surfaces of the glass tumbler, then it condenses and form tiny water droplets, and this process is known as condensation process. What is condensation process? The process of conversion of gas or vapors into its liquid state is known as condensation process. Okay, students, and condensation process play important role in cloud formation. How? Let us know about it. Students, the water vapors along with air rises up. Okay, means as the height increases, then temperature decreases. Okay, then at higher altitudes, where the temperature are very low, these water vapors condense on dust particles and forms millions of tiny water droplets. And these tiny water droplets combines to form clouds. Okay, and when these clouds becomes too heavy to float in the air, and water from these clouds drop down to the earth in the form of rain. Okay, students, but in special condition, it also fall as hail or snow. Okay, So we understood that water in the form of the vapors goes into the air by evaporation and transpiration method, forms cloud and then come back to the ground as rain, hail or snow. And this cycle is known as water cycle. Okay, now let us move to the next topic, back to oceans. The rainwater falls into the oceans, rivers, ponds, seas, okay, and water from the river, lakes, ponds finally flows into the sea and ocean, okay, and some of the rainwater is absorbed by the soil, some of it gets evaporated, while rest rainwater seeps into the ground and becomes another source of water for us in the form of groundwater, and this groundwater is drawn by hand pump or a tube wells. Okay students, if there is no vegetation on land, then the rainwater wash away the upper layer of the soil because some of the water is absorbed by the grass and vegetations. If there is no vegetation, this reduces the seepage of rainwater into the ground and it will affect the availability of the groundwater. Okay students, so we learned that water brought back to the earth's surface by rain, okay, or hail or snow, and goes back to the ocean. So water from the ocean and surface of the earth goes into the air as vapor forms and return as rain, hail or snow, and finally goes back to the ocean. So the circulation of water in this manner is known as water cycle. Okay students, this circulation of water between the ocean and land is a continuous process and this maintains the supply of water on land. Now next topic is what will happen if there is heavy rain. If there is heavy and continuous rain for a long period of time, then it leads to rise in the water level. Okay, means the water level in the river, lakes and ponds increases. The water may spread over large areas causing flood. Okay, and the crop fields, forests, villages and cities may get submerged by water. Okay, means excess of water leads to a condition that is known as flood, and flood damage to crops, domestic animals, property and human life. Many aquatic animals are also carried away by the strong water current and are deprived of their habitat. Okay, and rainwater also affects the animals living in the soil. Okay students, and now let us move to the next topic. What will happen if there is no rain for a long period of time? If there is no rainfall for a long period, then it leads to a serious condition that is known as drought. Okay, then what will happen? Soil becomes dry because soil also evaporates water to the atmosphere by evaporation method. Okay students, and lakes, ponds, rivers dries up and underground water level goes down. Okay, at the time of drought it is difficult to get food and water. Okay students, so we should conserve water. Students, you know that only a small fraction of water is available on the earth that is fit for the use of the plants, animals and humans. Most of the water is present in the ocean, that is salty water. Means water available for use is very limited and it is going to decrease with overuses. Okay, so it is very important that water should be used carefully. We should take care that water should not get wasted. And the demand of the water is increasing day by day due to increase in the population. Okay, more and more water is used in the industries for producing food and other purpose. So it is very important that water is used carefully. Okay students, so one of the method of conserving water is given here, that is rainwater harvesting method. Means we can collect this rainwater for future use. So let us understand this rainwater harvesting technique. Students, it is a traditional method in which rainwater is collected from the rooftop and allowed to go into a storage tank through the pipes. But this rainwater may contain soil particle. Okay, so it should be filtered before use. Okay. And instead of collecting rainwater in the tank, the pipe can go directly into a pits into the ground. Means this rainwater is used to recharge the groundwater level. Okay. And another option is to allow the water to go into the ground directly from the roadside drains that collect rainwater. So by this technique we can conserve water. Okay students, now your chapter completed. These all points are very important. You have to learn all these points. I hope you understood the chapter. Thank you.